go ahead and begin by adjusting our springs, and we're going to do a footwork series using the Jumpboard as a platform. So I have on 2 medium springs and 1 heavy, which is a comfortable spring load for me. So just go ahead and find something in between there. As you light yourself down, begin to pedal out the ankles, open up through the chest, maybe take some breaths in through your nose as you become acquainted with your body and this inner awareness. Once we're all organized, we're going to go into a wider position. It's almost like you were doing a squat lying down, so a wide position stance with the feet. And I want to challenge you to keep your heels anchored to the platform, to the jump board. So there may be a point where you can't come in all the way, but with the intention of keeping the heels grounded, pressing evenly into the jump board, that's where you're going to feel the work through the ankle, the stretch, maybe perhaps going into the calf. And then think of this as a nice deep squat. Let's come up to your toes. About 10 repetitions here for each of these variations. Pressing through your toes individually, allowing for those heels to rise to the challenge. And set this intention that you are facilitating the movement with your core muscles, with your abdominal muscles, using your pelvic floor, using the breath to guide you. Beautiful. Pressing long as you open up through the front of the hips. Let's bring it to a parallel position. So we're going to ground our soles of our feet. Go ahead and press out and inhale back in. Think of this string reaching out from the top of your head as you work in opposition. Beautiful job. So again, this is a challenging variation to keep the entire foot grounded. So if you're struggling with it, totally fine. It's more about the flexibility in the ankles and through the calves here. Definitely something to progress and work towards. Let's take it up to our toes. So staying in that parallel position. Take the exhalation as you press out, really opening up through the back of the knees. Again, if you do tend to hyperextend, where the knees press back a little bit more, just be mindful that you are maintaining a nice micro bend there at the knee. This will allow us to work into the muscle and out of the joints. Press out. Inhale, resist the urge to allow the springs to pull you in. And then let's go ahead, heels together, toes apart, activating through those inner thighs, and just feeling this warmth develop in there through the legs as if there was a zipper from your ankles and zipping all the way up towards your pelvic floor. Exhale, press out. Inhale, soften through the knees. Beautiful job. Think of those arms getting longer. Palms are pressing down in towards the carriage, allowing the shoulders to roll open. Chest is wide. And then let's go ahead and bring it to single leg foot. So our right foot is pressing into the platform. Left leg is an energetic, active tabletop position. So think of pointing out through those left toes. You got it. Knee directly over the hip. About 10 repetitions for each single leg variation. Again, the goal here is to warm up those larger muscle groups before we get the flow moving. Switching sides. Again, super active through that right tabletop. Tailbone is grounded. Allow yourself to feel the weight equally pressing down from your sits bones. And so this might feel like maybe one hip wants to rise up. So think about readjusting, realigning those hips into equal balance. Good. Press out and return home. Let's come down a little bit lower on that jump board, push to straight legs, and then just go into some calf raises, lifting and lowering through those heels. And the thing with jump board is that we really want to warm up through our ankles and all those intrinsic muscles of the feet to prepare us for the work ahead, the preparation for the jump board. to allow for better technique and skills. Take it to running when you are ready, where we're just alternating our legs back and forth, lifting one heel, pressing through the opposite heel. And let's return home. So carefully go ahead and come up. We're going to adjust our springs, and I'm taking it down just to one heavy spring, which is basically my green spring on a balanced body, but it's 1.25 in a typical metric system here. Align yourself on your back, and then let's go ahead and take it out to our just powerful regular jumps here. And now remember, Jumpboard isn't about using your legs. It's all being created from the core. So really maintain that integrity and allow for that deeper dive, that deeper connection. Go back to just heels together, toes apart. And again, just about 10 repetitions for each of these jump variations here. And challenge yourself to keep those heels hugging closely together as you disconnect the feet from the jump board. That could be a challenge. Beautiful. Don't forget to breathe. Come back to a single leg variation. Again, very strong and active through our tabletop position. We just did this in our warm-up. So again, that was the preparation. And then actively point through the jumping leg. Just feel this openness, this energy reaching from the toes. This length coming out from your hip socket. Switching sides. Take it into those 10 jumps. Do a quick inventory check. How is the neck doing? How are the shoulders? Make sure your headrest is in a comfortable position. I like it about midway. And think of your facial muscles just softening and relaxing as you're working through these jumps here. Take it into an alternating variation. So just switching the legs, maybe point the tabletop a little higher if you're feeling a little bit more fatigued through your abdominal muscles. If you want to go straight legs and scissor them, feel free to take that into a more advanced variation. Good. Come back in, take a little quick breather here, grab a hold of your loops. Arms are up towards the ceiling, wrists above the shoulders, tabletop those legs. Take an exhale as you press through those straps here and then find this resistance. So as we carefully open the arms to a T, think of just allowing that carriage to stay quiet and grounded. So we're conditioning the shoulders, we're opening through the chest. As you just press through those loops to find that sweet spot to avoid the movement of the carriage. Beautiful. Open wide. Again, about 10 repetitions here. And then from here, just bend those elbows as if you were almost doing this imaginary chest press, but the elbows just go nice and wide, palms are looking forward. Strong tabletop. Think of your belly button pressing towards the floor here. Shoulders down. Find that breath each time. Let's go ahead and keep that pressure in your loops as you lower and lift through the legs here. Maintaining a strong tabletop. So there's this hinging motion from the hip joint as you lower and lift. Think of the heels almost stretching and reaching over the jump board without losing the degree, the angle behind the back of the knee. Beautiful. Take the exhalation up, inhale down, and then press those arms straight down above the carriage. Extend the legs out, find tabletop, bring the arms back up again. Exhale, we press the arms. We extend long through the legs, we bring it to tabletop, and arms lift up. Exhale, press, extend. Soften through, reach up. Exhale, lengthen out through those fingertips, lengthen through the toes, soften the knees, bring the arms up. You got it. So every time you extend the legs out, the lower you go, the more challenging it will be for you. Add flexion if that feels good, and then we'll open and close the legs. As you hold yourself up in this part of the series here, we are getting a little deeper as we develop this connection through our abs. Bring the knees in, arms go up. Take an exhale, curl it up again. Stretch those legs up, lower one leg, and lower the opposite leg. Lift, lower, reach up, lower, reach up. Take all the breaks you need. So I'm going through this series quite fast without hesitation and stopping in between for breaks. So take those necessary breaks for your body, for your mindset, and then go ahead and bring it down. Exhale, we curl it up again. We extend the legs. Now pump it up for hundreds. You got it. You're inhaling for 5 counts. You're exhaling 5 counts. You can keep your head down, totally fine. Or you can stay curled up, but I want the eyesight towards the belly button. Lift those shoulder blades up a little higher. Pump those arms as if you're barely moving the carriage. Getting a little fatigued, lift your legs higher towards the ceiling. We don't want to go lower. You got it. Keep that breath going. Shoulders down. Find that belly button in towards the spine. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. Soften the legs. Bring it home. Good work, guys. Okay, hang up the loops. We're going to take it back into a jumping series. So let's carefully sit ourselves up. And I'm taking it down to a red, which is a medium spring. And then we're going to take our headrest all the way up, if that feels good for you, to lie on your side. Or you can always grab a pillow, grab a ball, and pillow yourself up here. So find this nice neutral alignment where the hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and take a jump out. I have my bottom leg just going for the ride here. So just go ahead and keep that leg resting on the carriage. And as you jump out, think of your ankle staying in line with your knee, knee in line with your hip. Again, we want to address that there's this energy coming out from your toes. Now lift the leg up. So you're feeling this glute activation a little bit more. And this is also really great in strengthening through the hips. Beautiful. Creating that pelvic stability. If you feel like you're arching your back, think of tucking your tailbone under a little bit. Let's switch up the variation. So you're in that attitude, more that external rotated position at the hip joint. Knee should be looking up at the ceiling, but be mindful that the hip isn't actually rotating backwards. Good. Beautiful job. And again, about 10 repetitions here. You can always add more. You can always decrease it. And then let's add it for a kick. So this is where the coordination comes into play. You jump, you kick forward. But again, we want to be careful that we're not losing that form, that neutral position of the pelvis through the spine. Beautiful job here, guys. Good. Relax your shoulders. Relax the grip on the peg if you're holding onto it. And then let's go ahead and bring it home. Let's sit ourselves up to a kneeling position. So we're still with that working leg, that jumping leg. But headrest goes down. Find yourself in an all-4 position. And then we're going to jump from here. And this might take a few. If you're new to this position, this series, you may come crashing into the stoppers. So just do nice, just very effortless jumps here. And as you jump, squeeze through that glute. Squeeze through that left butt cheek here. Engage those muscles. So once we do 10 here, we're going to add a little lift. So we want to make time for this lift as we're floating through air. Good work. If this is too fast for you, you can always decrease your spring to a lighter spring to give you more floating time here. And then let's bring it home. Okay. So let's go ahead and repeat the series on the other side. So headrest is going to go back up for me. We're going to lie on our left side, stack through those hips and shoulders. I like to take sometimes my hand behind my low back to just reinforce this openness through the chest. So do what's right for your body and then jump it out. New side, new ways of doing things. So again, just taking that inventory check as much as possible of your body, from your neck, your shoulders, your hips, and your leg. Are we pointing out through the toes? Add that lift when you're ready. So there's just this simple raise from the hip here as we strengthen through those external rotators. Again, this is all great for pelvic stability since the pelvis does support our spine. It also acts as a shock absorber to our lower limbs. Find that third variation where we have that attitude, more external rotation, and take it out. And jump. Good. And jump. Really activating, engaging through the thigh muscle here. Hamstring and quad are co-contracting together. Take it to the last variation where we're kicking forward. Again, find your stability, find your coordination, and perhaps maybe you can't kick as far as you did on the other side, or you have more flexibility on this side to kick. Keep that chest open, eyes straight ahead, and then let's go ahead and take it into our quadruped position. So we come to our kneeling, headrest is gonna go flat. We take our forearms in between the shoulder blocks. Find your right foot connected to the jump board, and when you're ready, go ahead and jump it out. So point through those toes to work the mobility through your ankle here. It also, I feel like it helps to engage through the glute as you point through those toes because you can feel that necessary contraction from the hamstring into the hip muscles. Beautiful. Just finding that length. Staying strong through your forearms here. Try not to collapse. Take it to that lift when you're ready. So you jump and you lift. Jump and lift. Just reach towards the ceiling, not compromising your squareness, your hips to the carriage here. And what I mean by that is we don't want to hike the hip up. We don't want to feel like we're rotating the hip at all. Exhale, reach. And then bring it home. Nice work here, guys. So from this position, I'm still on that medium red spring. Let's take it to a standing position here. Find your heels 3/4 of the way on the shoulder blocks, being supported to go into this plank. Now, we want to be strong through our plank. So it's almost like you want to reach out, press into the board to have your back support you. It shouldn't feel like an arm exercise. It should feel like your entire back extensors, the whole backside of your body is supporting you so that you're carefully able to engage through the ab muscles. Beautiful. Just sliding back and forth. Again, if this is too challenging, add more weight. As you add more weight, it's going to assist you in this exercise. And we're just doing about 10 repetitions here. So go ahead and find that as we create and build through our stamina. Let's go ahead and grab a hold of the loops. And I'm going to stay in this kneeling position. If this isn't comfortable for your knees, go ahead and make your adjustments. And then let's go ahead and reach those arms up and around. So we're adding our circles here. We're conditioning through the shoulders. And I want to maintain this frontal plane. And what I mean by that is I am keeping my arms in front of my body. They're never going behind me. And in this case, it's just more for safety. Beautiful job. Again, find the circle that works best for you depending on your limitations with your shoulder joint. Good. Just keep that breath flowing and then finding your hug a tree. So stopping about midway where the wrists are just slightly below the shoulders. And you're gathering this energy together as you bring your fingertips towards one another. Beautiful. There's this strong connection through your chest. Torso is upright, balanced. Collarbone is wide. Maybe a soft bend through those elbows if it's necessary. And then let's take those hands above the head, hinge through the hips here. Exhale, straighten out through the arms. And allow for your elbows to be a little bit more narrow as they frame your ears. This will help to get deeper into the tricep. Eyesight is down towards the springs, making sure that your neck is in alignment with the rest of your spine. Beautiful. Keep drawing those abs in. We are still supporting the core here with the abdominal muscles, with our deep back supporting muscles. And let's bring it back in. Let's hang up those loops. And we will go ahead and take it down into another jumping series, which I'm going to challenge you guys to come down to a light spring. And in this case, I'm on a blue. It's not the lightest spring, but it's almost there. Finding your tabletop position, a boat pose, reach those arms out, find a nice stable grounded area for you, and then begin to jump out. So with this light spring, it has the ability to keep you floating for a much longer period of time. And in this case, we are doing an abdominal series variation. So you're going to feel this really connect through your abs. So just be careful to maintain your form. Once we've done about 10 repetitions, I challenge you to move your hips in a little closer so that we can create more depth here into the exercise. Same idea, we're just jumping out. Maintain that scoop where you almost want to like tuck your tailbone under slightly. Exhale, we press. And press. Floating through. Good. And this is where you want to definitely create opposition. Fingers and toes are pointing one way, navel to the spine, the opposite. Good job. And then we're going to go ahead and bring it back in. So from here, we're just going to connect our feet again towards the shoulder block. Take a nice stretch through your upper back and your shoulders. Bring it back up again and push it back. So again, this is a lighter spring. If it's too much for you, make those adjustments where you're adding something else on. But it's just mostly for a deep shoulder back stretch here. Nothing too fancy. So from this position, go ahead and press out to this kneeling plank and then draw yourself back in again. And this is our down stretch. Another full body exercise. So this is also a great variation. If planks are a challenge for you, you can always come down to your knees and do the same technique here where you are pressing away and you are using your abdominal muscles. You're using your lat muscles to draw that carriage back in. So finding that activation. Beautiful job. Just finding that breath. Reinforcing the shoulders to stay down away from those ears. And then let's come down to the side. We're going to take it into a nice hip stretch, hamstring stretch. So allow that left foot to be supported by the shoulder block. Raise your right arm. Keep that right knee softened. Take a nice stretch over to the left. Nice lateral stretch. And then cross over if that feels good for you today. Return back up. Take it into that hamstring stretch, keeping those hips squared. So left hip forward, right hip is back. Shoulders down, arms are long. And bring it back home. Let's take it to the other side. Supporting into that Eve's lunge, take it back. Reach that high up, arm up all the way high. Take it into that lateral flexion as you lean to the right. Cross it over, get a deeper stretch through the back, shoulders down. Return the arm back up again. One final stretch. And to finish with the hamstring. Square out through those hips so you can really feel the back side of the leg here. Beautiful work. So just a nice quick jump board. Get the blood moving, the circulation and heart pumping. Really low impact to the joints. Let's finish it off. A couple roll downs here. It's my favorite part. It's a nice check-in with your body. Just really rewarding to your body, all the work that you've done. So if you'd like to learn more about Pilates exercises, I invite you to check out my online course discussing more about the anatomy of Pilates and a breakdown of each mat and reformer exercise in detail. This is where we will go over the setup of the exercise and discuss the purpose, muscle focus, and spring recommendations in the Pilates teacher training course. And as a Pilates enthusiast and student, you can choose between the mat option or mat and reformer bundle. This is a great tool for not only knowing how to get the most of your own personal practice, but an invitation to see if becoming a Pilates instructor is in your energy. So I have this course for you. It's being offered at $50 off using coupon code LEARN. And I loved creating this course for you because I remember back in 2008 when I was a client, I would have loved learning a deeper understanding of why I was doing the exercises and I was doing them right. Plus having access to look back at any time to gain a new perspective on each exercise as I grew with my Pilates journey. So the Pilates teacher training course is an excellent tool. And remember, when you buy it once, you will have lifetime access to keep coming back to learn. I will put the 2 teacher training course links in that description box along with the coupon code LEARN so you can save $50 off. So thank you again for joining me, wishing you a beautiful journey as you dive into a deeper understanding of the background of Pilates. I hope it gifts you with some very wise insights and understanding. So take good care, and I will see you here back very soon.